module on computer, internet, and digital navigation, where we touched some quite interesting matters, issues, and we are going to wrap up with this module today and start with a new module. So during our last session, we ended where we started talking about internet and web browsers, and we enumerated some web browsers, what a web browser is all about. I was saying last session that these things are important because um, even just listening to these concepts or these definitions, it you know it helps us in our day-to-day life. Some people perhaps just knew about Google Chrome, people perhaps just knew about Mozilla Firefox, but didn't know in detail what a browser application is, or a clear definition of the internet. So we went on to look at some basic browser operations, but before that, I showed you all the Brave browser, which I said that's a browser I personally use. Of ads. There are some sites that contain a lot of ads. When you open the site, you see ads popping up left and right. The Brave browser has an ad blocking feature and also enhances privacy, such that your data is not being shared to third party services without your consent. We looked at basic browser operations. We used Google Chrome as a case study. We looked at histories, bookmarks. We talked about downloading, online, how to screen capture or snap. Who take a picture, from their phone, take a shot from their phone. They can easily use what we call a snipping tool or the screenshot button on the computer to take a screenshot or capture a particular section of the screen and send to someone. Now, it is really learn through the internet, learning websites, access sites that offers opportunities. For example, we have sites such as Coursera. Let me use the Brave browser again. We have sites such as Coursera, sites like Udemy. Just continue with Chrome. We have Coursera, which is a learning website where you've got so many free courses. You've got so many, courses touching other areas, which which are very handy. You could learn from these websites. Oh, typing error, Coursera. We also have, so this is what it looks like. We also have sites like Udemy, used for learning, which offers, courses. We also have sites like Khan Academy, So there are many of use them to learn. There are also websites where you can explore opportunities. For instance, a popular website I use, I don't know if it's popular to everyone, But a popular website I check out from time to time is the site opportunitiesforafricans.com. So we have opportunitiesforafricans.com. I think there's also opportunity for youths, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's also opportunity desk. Yes, that publishes opportunities. For instance, this is opportunitiesforafricans.com. On this site, you have legit um, opportunities, but it's also always important to fact check, double check, and ensure it's actually legit. Talking about ads, these are some examples of ads. So usually I use Chrome browser to block, most of these. Now, so here you have lots of opportunities, scholarships, fellowships, internships, contests, and so on. So we have opportunities for Africans. We also have opportunitydesk.org, which is also similar. They publish opportunities for youths, adults, anyone. So it is recommended that you make use of the internet to check out opportunities, learning opportunities, and other opportunities. And let me add this, perhaps as a non as someone who is still grappling with getting flexible with technology. Sometimes the tendency is using your phone for everything. Yes, smartphones are useful, but if you've been comfortable with a smartphone for a very long time, try making good use of your computer. Use your computer. That's something I've noticed common amongst people, adults. I know this program, this AI and digital literacy program is organized so that adults 35 plus, or people who are not versed with tech can catch up, right? Can catch up. So help yourself out too. Maybe you've been fond of using the computer, your phone for everything. That is why we have a module as such. Make use of your computer. Use your computer. Access this website with computer. Apply for opportunities. Because in as much as the smartphones these days do a lot, you get to experience what it looks like using the computer. The computer has another experience which when you start using, you would um, definitely um, adopt the use. Perhaps your phone might be for minor things. I hope this is noted, right? Now, in using the computer, a challenge many people face is typing. I know of your comfort zone because most persons are used to their smart devices, right? It's okay. You can try. You're going to catch up. You can keep pushing. You're going to catch up. Another a challenge most persons face is typing. Typing. So typing is really very essential, especially if you really want to make use of your computer in your daily activities, right? Maybe applying for jobs, applying for opportunities, sending emails, typing cover letters, producing a CV, and so on, or even chatting, discussing. Remember, we talked about connecting WhatsApp on your computer, right? Now, once you've connected WhatsApp on your computer, you have to type. Imagine engaging into, a very interesting discussion with a friend, and the friend, has to wait for a long time because you've not yet learned how to type. So it's high time, you consider typing something very important. You must practice regularly. So that is why typingcore.com. So on typingcore.com, you have an interface where you type a word, you practice typing. Yes, you practice typing, and doing this, for example, 10 minutes daily is really going to help you, and you're really going to improve. Let me open this typing core. Everyone, are we together? Can I get your reactions?
Yeah.
Are we? Okay, amazing. So, typing core is a free online typing test. So basically, um, you're given some text or some letters, phrases to start, typing. So you would realize how with time, as time goes on, you would practice, being fast, right? As you can see, I've been asked to type the letter R, then to E, and so on and so forth. You can regulate the timing, at the beginning, so you can be more effective. And as you practice in the days ahead or the weeks ahead, you can increase the timing. So it is recommended. In fact, let me give this as a task, that practice typing at least 10 minutes daily to build muscle, and confidence with your keyboard. Once you've once you've done so, perform major operations, major activities on your computer. You won't even think about your phone. Now, let's talk about search engines. Perhaps you know an example of a search engine, but you do not know that it was called a search engine. So search engines basically help you find information on the internet. You see, many years ago, people had only one source of finding information: libraries, right? Libraries. And so you would go to places and you see a hall filled with books. But as time evolved, the internet came, and then we had search engines. So search engines help you find information on the internet. Someone defined the internet as a highway where there is a lot of information. So popular search engines include Google, right? And Bing. We have others, but Google and Bing are the most popular. And so how does this work? The key is to simply, do some effective searching using specific keywords rather than vague terms. Have you ever heard people say that I searched for this and I did not see it, or I did not find it on Google? Have you ever heard people say such? What could be the problem? Perhaps they did not know how to search well. Perhaps they did not search using the specific keywords. Perhaps their search was just vague. So, for example, instead of searching books, you can try saying best science books for beginners. Is that okay? For better results, right? So, once you are more specific, you get better results. So, you must be specific in your search inquiries. We have talked about so many things in this training so far. And so I would encourage you personally, take out time to search for some of the concepts we have learned here and do a deeper research or studies. It's going to help you. Another tip on using a search is, let's assume let's assume you are searching for a book, right? And perhaps you do not want to waste time scrolling through search results, right? And you want the exact match. You can make use of phrases. Sorry, quotes. For instance, rich dad, poor dad. Search. It's going to. This is just an example, you know. But the lesson here is use quotes to pass, to get much more specific results. Now, you can check reliable sources like educational official sites, right? Educational website. For instance, we I mentioned learning, and opportunity searches on the internet a while ago. And one of the ways to figure out if an opportunity is real and legit is by checking their official websites. For instance, if you see information passing around about a scholarship in Harvard, maybe you find it on an opportunities website, you can go check that information on Harvard's official website to be sure. Also, avoid suspicious links. Very important. Avoid suspicious links. Before I continue saying that, permit me elaborate on this again. Whenever you do a search on Google, we have organic search results and we have other search results that are adverts, that are ads. For instance, let's say, okay, I love playing the keyboard, the piano. So let me search for Maha piano. Okay, I don't have such. I do not have ads in this case. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see bookshop. Yeah, let's see about this. Okay, so here doesn't have, say, a pickup parental. Yaoundé. Okay, I'm not able to learn on the research that has ads on the first at the beginning. But the idea here is, whenever you find, sometimes you perform a Google search. Sometimes when you know hit a Google search, you would find some items at the top which are ads, and it's going to be written ads or sponsored. I think either below the title, you know, or below the description. That's just what I wanted you to get. So sometimes you can ignore them and go to the actual result from Google search. Now, we said avoid clicking suspicious links. Avoid clicking suspicious links. Now, um, sometimes you would come across some links. Now, I want you to note that um, On the web, we have HTTP and we have HTTPS. So sometimes you're going to find some links that rather start with HTTP and not HTTPS. So most of these links as such got insecure as not secured, right? Uh, are really suspicious. For instance, the link is not readable. It's not something actually readable. The link address itself is something strange. For instance, imagine seeing a link as such. Let's say www dot you know then you have something like um then this and then you have something like it is true that there are domain names that can be like but this is weird. I used it before and you do not know the link. So in essence, avoid clicking suspicious link because through these links you can people who you know um who are fond of free opportunities. They see something like MTN is offering 500 gigabytes free data. Click here to claim it. Or you hear something like MTN is offering first May offer gift to every Nigerian. Click here. These are scam links. Or if you doubt, you could go on MTN's official website and check, or MTN's official Facebook page and check that MTN, are you really offering something as such? Also, when using search engines, compare information from different websites, right? Information superhighway, not all information could be correct, right? So it's important to check. Perhaps we are searching on about let's say introduction to marketing. So um I guess you all have noticed that these days on Google searches, you have an AI overview. So you have a response from the AI. So let's say we are searching on to check responses from 2 or 3 different websites to know. Okay, So, um, to do, organize your computer desktop. Take a screenshot and submit it to demonstrate your organization skills. Remember when we just introduced the computer, we said that it's important to organize your computer files and folders, right? In order not to have messy desktop. Next